And we'll get started with, oh, I need to turn off my phone sounds. Bring my water over here. All right, we'll start with centering. And then, as I was mentioning before we turned on the recording, we'll be using our yoga poses to warm up our body rather than doing all of our warm-ups on the floor and working up into it. So just it's a different way, and it's something that you can utilize anytime you want. If you don't have time for doing your stretches and really loosening up before your actual poses, you can ease into your poses, just being aware so that you don't injure yourself or stretch too far when you're not warm enough. Okay, so just sitting tall, press your hips down, ground into the earth, connect your root chakra down into the earth. You could send it down as a spiral, a red spiral of light down to the center of the earth, if you can imagine. And then lifting up, you can spiral around your spine using your imagination again. Spiral energy, maybe white light around your spine and coming up, and send it out into the universe and reach for more white light and draw it down into your body and anchor it in your heart center. Okay. I forgot I gotta take off my elder tree wand. I received a gift a couple days ago. So just settling into your sacred space, maybe create a sphere or a pyramid of light all around you, drawing in more light. Sending it all around your body, through your body, relaxing your mind, bringing your focus to the present moment. Bring your awareness to your breath and follow it in and out a few rounds to connect and check on your pattern. And a check-in with your body, see how sensations are going. Sometimes you don't notice things until you actually become still, quiet. And we'll continue on with attunement to breath. So breathing and moving with the breath. Just start with palms in Anjali Mudra, prayer hands, and just simply breathe, arms up overhead. Deep breath, long exhale, emphasizing relaxation. And one more round of breath. And then release, bringing hands onto your knees for a moment. And then we'll stretch out our legs, preparing to come into standing. So just come up into standing and separate your feet just about the width of your mat. We'll come into a standing twist to loosen in the spine. Be sure to lift your outside heel to protect your knee. And then come back to center. And actually, let's leave our feet out, but turn your toes out. You can take them just outside the mat if it's not too slippery where you're at. So legs are engaged, not to hyperextend the knee, but to lift the kneecap and engage the thigh. And then lift your arms up, palms facing forward into a 5-pointed star. So connect with the earth through the soles of your feet. Press down. Reach up through your fingertips. Now your shoulder blades come down the back. That opens your shoulders. Notice your spinal column and check to see if you're arching in your back or if the pelvic floor is facing down. And lifting the crown of your head, your crown chakra. And then just bring your arms out to the side and lower your arms. Bring your feet back in. A few circles in our shoulders just to loosen them up a little more. Reverse your circles. Just pressing down in your feet, toes forward, bring arms up, breathe, lift up, and interlace fingers, turn your palms away, and just take your arms to the back a little bit, stretching away. Now, press down in the soles of your feet and reach up a little more, as though you want to touch your palms on the ceiling. Draw up in your core muscles, and then turn your palms, bring them together, and come into Kali Mudra. Thumbs are next to each other, fingertips are pointing up, and then taking your fingertips back and scooping, reaching, and then lifting up, squeezing ears. Okay. Take in a breath and exhale. Just bend your knees, feet maybe a little wider, hip width apart. Bend your knees and come back up. Inhale. Exhale, lower down and reach. Exhale down. Now just step your left leg forward and your right leg back. Left leg is bent. And just relax your arms down. Bring them into prayer hands. And then forward and back, your vinyasa stretch. Inhale it in, exhale it out. Hips are pointing forward. Stay lifted in your spine. And then just hold for 3 breaths, just with your warrior one legs. Now just pull back and step forward and switch your legs. Getting aligned. Stretch up tall. Inhale the knee in. Exhale it forward. And then hold the breath. Reach up. Lift your core muscles. You can strengthen them even here. Pull them in and up. Your 3 breaths. Deepening the pose as your hips relax, as your low back relaxes. And then inhale the knee in and just step forward with the other leg. Okay. Release your arms and just circle around in your wrists. Reverse. And elbows. Fingers, if you haven't worked your fingers just yet. All right, so now you can either turn your mat or turn to the side and step out into a wide angle stance. Press your heels out, toes in. and activate your legs. So kneecaps are lifted, thighs engaged, and just breathe, arms out to the side. Another 5-pointed star, but this is not the X like we did earlier. Now, before we turn to go into warrior two legs, we'll just come forward into a forward bend. So press down, connecting with the earth through the soles of your feet. Lift up through your crown, connecting with the stars. Taking a breath. Exhale, hinge at your hips. So right at the bend of your hips, lead with your chest and come down. Tilt your tailbone up towards the ceiling and then reach for your legs, come down into a forward fold. Now, while we're here, we can bend one leg and then straighten it, just side to side. Now, take your arms out to the side. Bring your torso to parallel to the floor. Engage in your legs and your core. Lengthen in your spine. Just press down in your feet and breathe your way up to standing. Good. We're going to repeat that one more time, just loosening up. Breathe it in, hinge forward, exhale down. Now, if you like, this is optional. You can come over to one leg and then the other, head to knee. And then back into center, reaching arms out, lengthen in your torso, engage legs. Press down in the soles of your feet, lift your crown. Going easy on your back. Okay. Now just turn out the right foot. A lot of times we do the left first. Just turn out your right foot. The back heel presses away. Take in your breath. Exhale, bend out into your warrior two and then breathe it in. Exhale out. Good. Now, if you need to adjust your stance for the hold of warrior two, Virabhadrasana two, and just get comfortable. Take in your breath. Lift your crown, lift your heart. Exhale out into warrior two. And gaze over the fingertips, over the bent knee. Now, if you need to move around a little bit here, you can go in and out still. Just get comfortable because you're using this pose to open your hips. Now, just bring your right hand onto that front knee and bring your left arm up, look up into your palm, reach. And then come back to warrior two arms. And then inhale that knee in. Exhale to the other side. Engage legs. Check your hips. You have your screen there. You can see, well, maybe if you're sideways, maybe not, but You might be able to see from the side. Take in your breath. Exhale, bending your left knee out. Come back in. And if your shoulders or your arms just get too tired, you can bring your hands onto your hips or even in prayer hands. So as you bend your knee, keep pressing it open so that you are opening your hip. And then come into your hold, looking over the fingertips, over the bent knee. Deepen your pose as your body allows. And then press down in both feet, bring your knee back. We're going to go back out because we're going to bring that front hand down onto the knee and breathe the back arm up next to your ear. So reach up and look up into your palm, mindful of your alignment in your legs, mindful of your core muscles pulling up and in. And then bring your arms back to warrior two and breathe your knee in. Turn your toes forward. Inhale. We'll come into one more forward fold. Toes in, heels out slightly. Exhale. Come down with a straight back. And tilt your hips up. As you bring your head in closer. Now, we can use this if you bring your palms onto the floor about under your shoulders, and then straighten your arms, lift up onto your fingertips, lift your chin and your tailbone into monkey pose. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your palms, lower down into your stretch. Tilt your hips up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And hold the stretch for a few breaths. Breathe. If you feel a pull somewhere, you may need to back off the stretch or breathe using your pranayama. Breathe into that area. Take light and energy in on the breath. And optional, if you want to come over to each leg one more time, head to knee. And hold it this time. And walk your hands over to the other side if you're participating in this one. Come down, take in a breath. Exhale in close to the knee. And keep breathing. And then walk your hands back to center. Plant your feet, root into the earth.
Take your arms out to the side, lengthen in your spine. Legs are engaged, and lift your crown back up. All right. And just lower your arms down. Step your feet in and just loosen up in your legs. Shake them out. You might want to bend your knees and straighten to stretch in your ankles. Or lift your heel to stretch your feet. Okay, so from here, just somewhere in the center of your mat for now, we'll come into chair pose. So starting in Tadasana, good posture. Engage your core. First, breathe your arms up to parallel to the floor. Exhale, bend your knees into chair pose. So this one, your back is straight. So check in your screen. So you're bending your knees and the back is straight. Draw the tummy in, lengthen in your spine. Good. All right, now lift one heel and stretch your toes forward. Stretch your heel forward, bending your toes. And then other side. Good. Now from here, lift one heel, focus on a spot, just gaze forward, and then lift the other heel into a balance on the toes. Keep your core working. Lower down. The more you lift your heels, the more challenging it is. And then let your heels down, reach your hips back, fingertips forward, lower down a little bit more. Okay, feel your thighs, your knees. Push the floor away, bring your arms up overhead. Breathe and lower your arms. Bring your palms onto your low back here. So on the sacrum area, okay? Bring your elbows a little closer together. Take in a breath. Lift up through your crown. Exhale, engage your legs and stretch to the back. Stay lifted in your ribs and your sternum. Bring your elbows closer. Lift your chin. Press down in your feet and roll back up. And come into a half forward bend. Just bring your shoulders so that they're level to the bend, the root of your thigh. Let your arms dangle. Let your head dangle. Breathe. And then press down on the soles of your feet. Engage your legs and lift back up. You can roll through your spine if you like. And then bring your hands back onto the low back, just below the waist, but palms pressing. Bring your elbows closer together. Lift your ribs, lift your chin, take in your breath, and exhale. Hips are engaged as well to protect your low back. Open the sternum, open the shoulders, and lean back into a banana shape or a back bend, standing back bend. And press back up and come forward, bringing your shoulders level to the root of your thigh, head, neck loose, arms dangling. Relax and breathe. And press down on the soles of your feet and lift back up, taking a breath. And come back to center. Okay. Oops. All right. So from here, we'll go to the side once again and step your feet apart. Turn out your right toes again, left heel pressing away. And breathe, arms up. And just check in with your hips. Just give a little wiggle side to side. Okay. Now, on your next wiggle, take in a breath. Exhale and tilt your hips, pressing down in the front hip joint and start to reach out. Now, you want to keep this area, your ribs, straight. A lot of people curve trying to get to the floor. But you want to keep that straight. So reach out over your leg, keep your shoulder over your leg. Legs are engaged. Keep rolling this hip open. Reach out, 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 as far as your body will allow. And you're all ready. Keep your body right where it is and switch your arms. That's all you need to do. Now to lower down, please don't curve again. They have found that that injures the low back, and we want to keep you safe. So if you're going to go lower, you need to hinge and stretch in that front leg. And that comes with relaxation and stretching. Then look up into your palm. And reach your fingertips up, press down on your feet. Inhale up. Bring your hips all the way back. And we'll switch sides. And once again, hips forward. A little wiggle on this side because you have the other leg turned out. If you have any tightness, this can help to loosen that up. Okay. Take in your breath. Exhale, hinge down, tilt your hips so you're pressing your left hip out to the side, pressing down in the hinge of your left hip and reaching out over that leg. Knee stays straight, but not locked. Go as far as your body will allow. Keep opening the hip as much as you can, and then just switch your arms. You want your shoulder over that forward leg, so don't come out in front of it. That's taking you out of the pose. If you can't stay over the leg, just lift up out of it a little bit more and bring your shoulder over that leg. And eventually you'll have the stretch. to go lower if you want. Look up into your palm and breathe. Engage your legs if they're not already. Press down in the soles of your feet. Reach fingertips up. Inhale. And back to center. Bring your hips back. Relax your arms down. Step your feet in. All right. Good job. So we want to do some stretching. We've stretched the backs of our legs. We've stretched them from the inside because of our warrior poses. But now we need to stretch the thighs because we've been using them. So we want a little counter pose. So for this, we'll come down onto our mat. I'm going to recommend that you come down and sit on your heels with your toes out. I'll turn sideways so it might be easier to see. So reach up through your crown, shoulder blades down your back, lifting in your ribs. Bring your hands back, fingertips, palms, knuckles, whatever melts your butter today. All right. So take in a breath. Exhale and just lift your hips up off your heels. Open. You can take your head back or keep your chin by your chest, whatever is most comfortable for you here. If you want more of a stretch, bring your hands a little closer to towards your ankles or your feet. And then lift up. Press your hips forward. And release. And just come forward into child's pose with your palms facing up, thumbs by your ankles, forehead on the floor. Breathe. Relax. And now just slowly lift up. You've been inverted. And come around. We need to work in a twist. So just sitting on your right hip, bend your right leg, bring your left leg around, either in front of your knee, opposite your knee, or around towards your thigh. But you want both sitting bones on the floor. Holding on with your right hand. Just let your hips relax into this pose for a moment. And then you'll scoop your left arm forward and inhale it up by your ear. Use your arms to pull you around into your twist as you reach up through your crown. And breathe in position. Now place the weight back on your sitting bones and breathe your left arm back up by your ear and return your body to center. And then we just switch sides, however you want to get into that position. with your left knee forward, and wherever you want to place your right foot, make sure your heel is out of the way on the lower foot, and reach up. Just allow your hips to relax into this pose here, bringing the top knee in towards the opposite shoulder. If it'll stretch a little more, just check and see if this side is easier or harder than the first side. And then holding on with your left hand, holding your knee in place, scoop your right arm out, inhale it up, and open into your twist. Just bring your arm around and down behind you. You can wrap your arm around your knee. The classic pose is where you're pressing against that leg and you reach for the front knee and look behind you. And to come back out, press your sitting bones down. Breathe your right arm up next to your ear and come around to the front. Release your arm. Bring both feet out in front of you and just loosen up a little bit in your spine. Let those muscles soften even more after your twist. And then prepare for Shavasana. Be sure to roll your hips under, roll your shoulder blades under, turn your palms up. Let go. Let yourself relax down. The Gayatri Mantra. It's Om Bhur Bhuva Shvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yo Prachodaya. Om Bhur Bhuva Svaha Tat Svavitur Varenyam
Bargo Devasya Dimahi Dio Yona Prachodaya Om Bhurda Swaha Tatsaviturvayam Bargo Devasya Dimahi Dio Yona Prachodaya. Relaxing deeper. Now, for the last few breaths of your Shavasana, remaining still, just bring in generating the feeling state of gratitude, grateful for whatever you feel gratitude for. But generate that feeling. And I've learned in my recent studies that the highest vibration we can achieve is through the feeling state of joy. So let that feeling of gratitude just transmute right into joy. And let that raise your vibration. This is what will also transmute all the negativity around the earth. That one little focus. And so now just bringing your awareness back to your body, to the room, to the sounds. Bring in some movement into your hands and feet. Draw your low back down into the floor for a moment. And then slide your feet together and lift your knees up to your chest. Stretching. You can roll side to side if you prefer, if you like. And then eventually roll to one side and press up into sitting. If you'd like to bring your hands into mudra as a seal for your work in your practice today, then you can seal in all those benefits, all that joy and gratitude and warming up in your poses. And then just bring palms into Anjali Mudra. Once again, grateful, joyful, and with Kitty. So everybody have a wonderful rest of the day or evening wherever you are. Namaste.
Thank you, Michelle.